Hi everyone, this is Shivesh and I have created a self-learning video on top interview questions and answer. There are a lot of YouTube videos and YouTube presentations which deal with the same thing. However, I have always felt there's something missing and that's why I decided to create this one for everyone's help. I hope everyone finds this useful. The question that we're going to tackle today is tell me about yourself. It's an icebreaker question. It's the most often asked question and it is asked at the start of the interview. It's a question where normally an interviewer gives an opportunity to candidate to direct the interview process. So instead of interviewing straight away asking questions to the interviewer, it gives an opportunity to the candidate to give a response through which he can direct the whole interview process. Also, this is a question whose reply actually sets the pace and direction of the interview process. Why this question is so important and why this question is talked about so much. And what generally an interviewer expects as an answer from this question. I have just tried to put in a few of the bullet points. I think so. When you interview for a job, it's a very, very formal process, and what typically one wants to know through this question is basically they want to know about your professional experience. They want to know what kind of experience you have, how good your experience is, what kind of different kind of things you have done in your past. They want to know about your qualifications and what kind of hard or soft skills that you carry that are important and that you can bring to the job you are interviewing for. Also, they want to know if in your previous career and in previous work you have done something very outstanding, something very good, and that reflects in terms of how good you are as a professional. They also want to know a little bit about your personal background as well as your extracurricular, because they don't just want to know about you as a professional, they also want to know about you as a person, how you are. So just to give an overall all-round perspective on you as a candidate. The first 3 points I call essential factors, and the other 2 points I call as hygiene factors. I call them essentials because these are the primary focus of the interviewer, and this is what exactly interviewer wants to know about you, because he is filling a position for the job. So it's very, very critical that he gets this right, that you're a good and a suitable fit for the job, and you have the right tools and you have the right kind of experience and skill sets, and you'll be able to do the work for him. I call the other 2 points as an hygiene factor because these are good to tell. So absence of them is not good. These are good to tell, but these are not the primary focus, and one should not talk too much about these things. However, one should definitely touch these things in brief when giving an answer. So now that we know what are the expectations of an interview from this question, let's move on to see how we can create an answer to this question. A lot of people find it challenging to give an answer, so I have just broken it down into 6 different points, and the 6 different points wherein you can use each of these points to construct your answer. And as the next step, I'll give 2 examples, one of an experienced candidate and one of a fresher, where we will use each of the 6 points to construct an answer. Okay, so the first point is describe and summarize your professional self. So in creating an answer, I think so you should start and open with describing your professional self. Who are you as a professional? And you should describe this in 2-3 lines in a short, so that at the very start he comes to know, okay, this is what you stand as a professional. Highlight different areas you have experience in. When you're interviewing, it's very, very critical that you highlight your experience in great detail, and you tell what are the different areas that you have worked. If you have worked in the sales, then tell me you have worked in pre-sales, you have worked on market research, you have also worked on retail, or you have also worked on B2B or commercial. So highlight different aspects of your job. Similarly, if you're in finance, then tell me you have worked in corporate finance, you've also worked in equity raising, you have also handled some of the debt raising. So you experience, and you tell how broad your experience is. Talk about major projects. So while you highlight different areas, you also go deep into one of the areas and tell, okay, in this specific area I have done so many projects. So this highlights the depth of your experience, and how deep you have gone into in each of these areas, and how much you know about it. The fourth point is highlight your specific contribution and achievements. More often than not, we work in teams, so it's important when you talk about projects, you highlight your specific contribution and achievement. So not only he knows that you worked on a project, he also knows, the interviewer also knows what you contributed in that project, how good you were as a team member. The fifth point is highlight your specific strength other than technical. So while you have technical strength, you do have the know-how and knowledge of the job. What are other kind of soft skills that you bring? Do you have some kind of leadership skill? Do you have great time management skills? Do you have the ability to work under pressure? So what are the other specific strengths other than technical that you bring in the job, which would be valuable for the interview to assess for your suitability for this job? Last but not the least, describe you in brief your personal background and interests. So just to give an overall perspective about who you are as a person, talk something about yourself, where you belong to, what is your family like, and what are your other interests other than job. So that's how you can create a good answer. Follow these 5 points and create a good answer. So I have created 2 examples. Now let's have the 2 examples. Let's look at the example of an experienced candidate first. So in this example, what I've taken is an example of a person who is a MBA, and he has 3 years of experience in sales and marketing. So I'll give you a minute to just read through this, and then I'll take you through different parts of this answer. So the first part is basically introducing yourself as a professional. So this is the construct I've used. I'm a sales and marketing professional with 3 years of experience in B2B and commercial sales. I work in the industrial product division for a power equipment manufacturer and successfully manage a sales portfolio of X crores. So within 2-3 lines, I have been able to explain in terms of how much experience I have, in which area I work, and what I am currently doing. So, and also to give a little bit of a understanding of what the scope of kind of work I did. So sales portfolio of Axis Crore gives a scope of the kind of things that I manage in my current job. So very briefly, it introduces you as a professional. Coming to the second point, you now go and talk more about the areas you have worked, and then you talk about the major projects you have worked. So within the industrial product division, I handle the sale of X, Y, and Z product line in Delhi and NCR region. So you tell this is the area and geography I work, these are the products I handle. I manage relationship with over 100 clients and have deep understanding of products, client requirements, and NCR market. So here you talk more about the scope and the kind of opportunity you manage. So I manage 100 clients. I'm a relationship manager of 100 clients. And then I have a deep understanding of products, client requirements. So I have a good understanding of the markets where I work. I have good understanding of what the client wants. I have very, very good understanding of the product. So these are all things you tell in succinctly in a very brief 1 sentence. Okay. My last successful assignment was to close a deal of worth rupees 6 crore with the ABC client. So this is the last kind of project you have worked. So he gets a good idea of, the interviewer gets a good idea of which areas you have worked and what kind of opportunities you have handled. Then, other than your technical strength, you talk about other soft strengths. So I have a strong sales DNA and excel at making strong customer relationships and creating value-based partnerships for our company. So in my current company, I have received the Sales and Marketing Excellence Award. So you also talk about some of the high outstanding performance that you have done and you have been rewarded for. Also, you say you are a great relationship manager and you have a great sales eye. So this is how you highlight other kind of strengths. In the first paragraph, you talk about all the experience. So you have worked for 3 years, so you also tell him about that in the last 3 years, I worked with 2 different companies. My first job was with ABC Limited, wherein I worked in the pre-sales department for an automotive company for 1 year. So you tell which area did you work for. So you tell him that, okay, I worked in the pre-sales department, it was an automotive company, and then you say, in my current company, I worked for 2 years now. Finally, once you have described yourself as a professional, the areas you have worked, you finally touch about something a little bit on the personal thing. So I am a science graduate and I have done my MBA in sales and marketing from XYZ Institute in Toronto. Important to tell the institute because people want to know what kind of institute you have graduated from, and from that they just try to judge what kind of academic performance you must have had. And then I'm a native of UP and belong to Ghaziabad city. I'm also a sports enthusiast and like playing badminton, cricket during weekends. So you tell a little bit about yourself and your personal other interest as well. So that closes. So this is a template which can serve as a good answer. The same can be tweaked for different kind of people. If you're a finance professional, then you talk about your finance vertical you work for, talk about the kind of finance projects that you have done, any outstanding thing you have done, and then you talk about the overall experience that you had. So this is the kind of construct that is used. It's useful. Uh, at a very start, it tells what kind of experience you have, what kind of breadth of experience you have. The only thing to take care of here is when you talk about the different things here, about the different areas and the different projects, make sure you choose and pick those areas and projects which are relevant to the job you're interviewing for. So do not talk about projects and areas which are not relevant. So while you construct this answer, make sure you know the job requirements very well and you accordingly construct this answer. Okay. Now let's quickly run if the same thing is to be done via fresher. So this is an example for a freshers. So a fresher, I have just taken somebody who is a finance graduate, has done his BCom and MBA. He has no experience, so what he will leverage upon is basically his experiences as a student in the college and in the school that he have done. So the construct here is, hi, I am a commerce graduate and I have recently completed my MBA from XYZ Institute with specialization in finance. I have chosen finance as majors as this is my area of interest and a field where I wish to make my career. I particularly like corporate finance, valuation, and management accounting. So here I introduce myself as a person who has studied finance. So he's a commerce, he has done an MBA and he specialized in finance, and then I've elaborated over why I have chosen finance. So this is my interest area and this is where I wish to make a career because I'm a fresher. This is my area. And why it's my area of interest has been elaborated in. These are the different corporate finance, valuation, management accounting are the areas which particularly hold my interest. Now to build upon why, once you have told these areas, you buttress your claim with something you have done. So you talk about your internship. I did my internship at XYZ Limited where I worked on corporate finance project and prepared a financial model to evaluate NPE for an infrastructure project. I learned to prepare Excel-based financial models and I'm good at doing financial analysis. So now here you tell, okay, these are my areas of interest and now look, this is what I did in my internship in the similar area and this is the project I have done. You can describe this project in a little more detail or you can choose to keep it short so that the next question the interview asks is for the same subject, okay? And then you further tell, okay, you apart from this internship, these are the areas that now you have learned and you are good at, financial analysis and finance. In addition to the internship, I have also presented research papers on various finance topics. One of the topics I worked on is ABC. So now I talk about what other than internship extra you have done. If you've done something, mention. If you've not done anything, then try to elaborate on the project itself. And then other than technical skills, I'm a good team player as well as an individual contributor. In my previous experience, I have independently contributed valuable inputs and insights to projects I worked on. So in every job, what your specific contribution is very, very valued. So while highlight that you are an individual contributor, you are someone who can work independently and contribute and not always need direction. So just think of something which is really your strength or which you have demonstrated and put it in your answer. That really increases the attractiveness of your answer. And then a little bit personal about me is that I belong to Delhi. I have completed my schooling from Delhi. My father is a government officer. My mother is a homemaker. In my spare time, I love traveling and watching movies. So tell about yourself, a little bit about your family and your other interest as well. Just to finally wrap up, so these are the do's and don'ts which you should take care of. So do always proper research about the requirements of the job, and that's how you construct your answer. Think through how you can relate your experience. So all jobs will have a different requirement. So always try to relate which aspects of your job you want to highlight and which you do not. So highlight skill sets and projects in job requirement. And whatever you say in this question, prepare for follow-up questions. So whatever you're going to say, interviewer is going to ask something from this. So prepare a follow-up question and be confident. As a don't start talking about your personal interests and personal things at the start of interview or talk too much about these because these are not generally the focus. These are the only hygiene factors. And like I said, talk about areas which are not relevant. So don't talk about any project which is really not relevant. Talk about things which are relevant. And then finally, speak well later. So my personal assessment is on tell me about yourself, you should always try to give a reply which should be 3 to 5 minutes long. So don't try to shut up in like 30 or 40 seconds. Try to construct an answer where you can talk and speak about 3 to 5 minutes. So that's it from my side. I hope you find it useful, and if you like it, just press like and subscribe to this and comment below. Thank you.